Good evening, Bruce, and thank you for joining us at the JB Moy Talk Show.
Good evening, JB. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for sparing your time. We don't take it for granted. I know you're a very busy man. And to comrades out there, tonight we focus on justice, accountability, and the future of our country, Uganda. As the country faces continued human rights violations and growing calls for change. In this show, we ask a simple but an urgent question. Can international justice still work for Ugandans? Our guest tonight is Bruce Afran, an international human rights lawyer involved in accountability efforts actually related to Uganda, of course, and other countries. We'll discuss the ICC case, the evidence, regional instability, and of course the role of Ugandans here in Uganda, and of course those in the diaspora, the role they must play in this quest to bring in the non-fictional socio-economic and political change everyone is yearning for. Of course, I'm JB Mwonge, and I would like to start this show. Bruce, are you in your right mood? Is everything okay? Have you been fine? Because back here in Uganda, everything is not okay. How is your side?
Our side here is good. We in the United States, do have democracy and stability. We may have problems, but we don't have authoritarianism, and we don't have dictators telling us how to live and how to act. But the problem in Uganda is one that concerns me very seriously, and Ugandans want change.
Bruce, Uganda is aware of the ICC case filed by His Excellency Bobi Wine against Museveni and his son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, over crimes against humanity. A case that, by the way, you represent at the International Criminal Court. What more can Ugandans both at home and in the diaspora do to ensure this case is heard, taken seriously, and strengthened legally and politically? Because majority of Ugandans think that it is taking too long.
JB, it is taking long. And the ICC, like any international body, is not a fast remedy. But it is powerful because it puts the Uganda government under a microscope. And although there are abuses, Museveni and his son can only go so far, because they know ultimately the international community and the ICC are watching. So although it is taking time, this case is very important because it ups the ante. It keeps the pressure on the Museveni regime. And the ICC has acknowledged receiving the case, but these courts take a long time. Many cases that have come through the ICC have taken years to litigate and to investigate. But its strength is that it puts the world on notice, and it puts Museveni and his son on notice that they are being watched. And that's what's important. Ugandans need to document human rights abuses. They need to document when it happens, where it happens, who it happens to. And every time it happens, there needs to be someone keeping records of that, putting together witness statements. Even in Uganda, with authoritarianism, that can be done. And we submitted about 220 witness statements to the court. But JB, I want to say that that's not the most important way to get democracy in Uganda. The people have to vote, the people have to care. And the people sometimes are going to have to stand up in the street and speak to what they want. Because we know there may be a fraudulent voting tally. But if the people stand up and speak to that fraud, even a dictatorship will go down. And in country after country where we've seen the people stand up, we see dictatorships fall. In Iran, the people, mostly the younger people, are protesting wildly. Some have been killed, sadly. But that message is coming to the world, and that regime knows its days are numbered. But that happens only when the people themselves rise up and protest. I want to say one thing about Bobi Wine. Museveni and Milton Obote and Idi Amin all came to power at the head of a gun. They were in the military or they led militias. Bobi Wine doesn't come to power at the head of a militia, and he's not coming to power with an army. He's seeking power through the voting booth, through the power of the individual. And that, some people ask, well, how do we know Bobi will be different from other leaders of other African countries who've gone bad. You know, we know Museveni went bad. He came in as a liberal, but ended up as a dictator. The reason we know Bobby is different is he does not come to Ugandans with a military. He doesn't come with a militia, and he doesn't come with guns. He comes with logic and reason and offers democracy through democratic means. And that's how we know that Bobby Wine is not going to be a new Museveni, because he doesn't come to the people of Uganda at the head of a militia.
All right, thanks for that, Bruce. Actually, just mentioned about the 220 affidavits that you submitted at the ICC, and actually also mentioned that during your previous appearance on this show. I want you to put this into clear perspective. What types of evidence does the ICC formally recognize, and what is the correct process for submitting additional evidence? Who submits it, how, and through which channels? Because very many Ugandans would like to help in this.
Mm-hmm. JB, what Ugandans have to do is they have to put their evidence in writing, in detail. Not just say, I was taken and arrested and beaten. You have to say where it happened, who you were with, where you were brought, how you were abused, how many days you were there, what did the Ugandan guards or the officers say to you. All of that has to be put down every time it happens. And if you observe it happening, and you observe someone being picked up, you have to do all that yourself and say what you saw. That's what courts want to see. That's what the UN wants to see. That's what the U.S. Congress wants to see. That's what the ICC would want to see. And there are lawyers in Uganda who've worked with us who've put this together. And so that's what the people of Uganda have to do. When these things happen, every time it's got to be put together in writing. And frankly, people in Uganda have to organize to do this. We had a good team of people, and that's how we got 220 statements. But Ugandans have to keep up the work.